Well, earlier we had news coming out of Libya where clashes continue between pro-regime forces and revolutionaries pushing towards the capital, Tripoli. Now, to further discuss the situation in Libya, we're joined by Mr. Webster Griffin. He is Webster Griffin Tarpley, is author and historian. Welcome, Dr. Tarpley, to the program. First of all, let's start with the direction NATO has taken with regards to the war in Libya. If you can, please open that up for us a little bit. It's been quite a while, but yet the opposition fighters still aren't making advances in a more rapid fashion that might be expected of them.
I would have to take issue, first of all, Bardia, with your terminology. You called the Benghazi Rebel Council the revolutionaries. There are a lot of people in the Tripoli area of Libya who would say that the current Gaddafi regime is the revolution, and that these rebels that are attempting to overthrow him are actually the counter-revolution. And if you look at their support for monarchism, if you look at their support from imperialism and colonialism, I think there's a strong case. But obviously, the events of today, above all, a very severe military defeat for those rebels in their attack on Brega, where their assault has been thrown back with heavy losses, comes in the wake of this meeting of the contact group in Istanbul, Turkey, yesterday, which was the scene of really an astounding action, a real act of folly, I think, where the United States and 30 other countries have decided now that this Benghazi Rebel Council is the legitimate government of Libya, and they're going to try to loot the frozen Libyan assets for the purpose of convoying that money into the pockets of people like Jalil and Yunus and Jibril and Haftar and the rest of the visible leadership of that group. The problem that it raises is, of course, that it's very well known that in the military arm of the rebellion, we have a very strong representation of al-Qaeda terrorists, people who, according to the U.S. official definition of the U.S. government, are terrorists. That would include somebody like Hassadi of Darna, somebody like Kumu, also of Darna, and Barani of the Libyan Islamic Fighting Group. And the United States has actually facilitated the arrival of lots and lots of foreign fighters, be they from Afghanistan or Pakistan, really the entire greater Middle East. People have been streaming in there to join the rebel side. And of course, this has not escaped the attention of the opposition forces here in the United States, especially in the House of Representatives. You have a significant Republican majority who is they're extremely distrustful. In particular, Congressman Michael Turner, Republican of Ohio, has taken the lead in denouncing the U.S. government decision to recognize these rebels yesterday, saying it's totally premature because you still don't know who they are. And of course you don't. Of the members of the Libyan Rebel Council, the Benghazi Rebel Council, only about 1/3 of them are known. The rest of them are secret. And the story is that they're threatened by Gaddafi. But others would also argue they're being kept secret because they're from al-Qaeda. They are people who have been to Guantanamo Bay or prisoners of war.
Right. Dr. Tarpley, those are definitely perplexing details that you just mentioned, but we're going to have to move on. We are short of time now. I want to talk to you about the issue of arms. Who is providing the opposition forces with arms, and is the issue of providing arms something that contradicts Resolution 1973, or has that resolution just turned into a document that exudes various subjective interpretations as time goes by?
Well, the resolution itself, of course, violates the UN Charter, but that doesn't stop the French in particular, but also the British and the US and other NATO countries from violating this resolution. In particular, we know that the French have set up kind of an airlift into these southwestern mountains, southwest of the capital Tripoli. They've been flying in plane loads of weapons. That's a blatant violation of the UN Security Council resolution, which provides for an arms embargo on everybody. We also know that the US and the British have been shipping in weapons across the Egyptian border into that stronghold of Cyrenaica, the Benghazi, Darna, Tobruk area. So they're trampling on the UN resolution. It's going to be interesting to see. The recognition of the rebels is designed to open the door to give them money, but that will also violate the UN Security Council resolution. So we're at a point now where the international anarchy could hardly be greater. And I would just recall to Mrs. Clinton, she may be in the position now of giving material support to al-Qaeda, and people have been impeached in the United States for less. A Secretary of State can be impeached just like any other officer of the executive branch, and there may be some Republicans in the House who are thinking in those terms right now.
So much to discuss, so little time. From Washington, Dr. Webster Tarpley, thanks for sharing your thoughts with us, and also thanks for the tip about our terminology. That's a point I'll definitely take up with my editor. Thanks, Dr. Tarpley.